Hiya, two children. It's Mr Yeardsley here at school. Come inside to my office because it's a bit rainy outside. It's a bit dark, a bit grim, a little bit like the vampire school in Isadora Moon today. And we'd just got to the bit where Isadora was at vampire school, hadn't we? And the bats were about to fly out the window. Wonder who let the bats out, any idea? It was too late. The bats were gone. I glanced across at Pink Rabbit. He was loitering by the open window, looking very pleased with himself. "Isadora Moon," Countess Darkfang shouted. "That Pink Rabbit of yours is a liability, a nuisance. I'm hereby banning him from vampire school." "But..." "No buts," said Countess Darkfang. "After today, he's never, ever allowed back." Then she picked up a cape and swished out of the room to the lunch hall. I thought Pink Rabbit didn't look sorry at all. After lunch, which was more red food, tomato sandwiches and tomato soup with beetroot crisps, yuck, it was time for the last lesson of the day, grooming. "Grooming is very important," said Countess Darkfang as she walked round the classroom handing out little silver hand mirrors, spiky hairbrushes and pots of gloopy hair gel. "Vampires must look their best. Shiny, neat hair is extremely important. It's the rules." There's vampire hand mirror. She patted her own perfectly proud hair. There was so much gel in it that it made a tap-tap sound when she touched it. All the other vampires began to comb their already neat and shiny hair, smiling as they did so. I picked up the hairbrush. This was not going to be easy. My hair is quite wild. I put the hairbrush to my head. A minute later it was stuck. "Countess Darkfang," I called. "The hairbrush is stuck in my hair." Countess Darkfang came hurrying over, tutting loudly. She gave the hairbrush a little pull, but it didn't budge. "Your hair's just too knotty," she complained. She yanked a little harder. "Ouch!" I said, and then a bit harder. "Ouch!" I yelled. Not looking very pleased, is she? At last, the hairbrush came out, and so did a big clump of my hair. "Let's try gel instead," said Countess Darkfang. She scooped a big handful out from the pot and began to smooth it all over my head. "This'll do it," she said. But the gel did not do it. My hair would just not stay down. I peered into the hand mirror and watched as Countess Darkfang tried to flatten it. Every time she tried to smooth a piece of hair into place, it would ping right back up again. Bing, bing, bing. Frowned Countess Darkfang. "Isadora, your hair is too wild." There she is, the wild hair in the mirror. I smiled sleepily. I don't mind my hair being wild. In fact, I quite like it. I closed my eyes as Countess Darkfang continued to cover my head with handfuls of the gloopy gel. It felt quite soothing, and I was so sleepy. "I will tame it," I heard her say as I drifted off. "I will! This is not satisfactory." And then, before I knew it, I was fast asleep. Oops. You'd never fall asleep in school, would you? Dad was not very impressed when he came to pick me up at the end of the night. "You're not supposed to fall asleep at vampire school, Isadora," he said. "I know," I said sadly. "I think maybe I'm not a vampire at all." Dad looked disappointed. "I expect you'll feel differently after you've had a good sleep," he said hopefully. "Let's go home." So we flew home together and I went straight to bed like Dad does every morning. And I slept through the whole morning and didn't wake up until 3 o'clock. It felt strange. When I got up, Mum was waiting for me in the kitchen. She'd made me a magic sandwich. I could tell she'd used magic to make it because every time I bit into it, the flavour of it changed. First it was ham, then peanut butter, then cucumber, then, yuck, tomatoes, I yelled. Sometimes Mum's shortcuts don't pay off. "Oh dear," she said. "Sorry, I still haven't got that spell quite right. Let me try again." "It's okay," I said. "I'm not hungry anymore." "So, how was vampire school?" Mum asked. "Did you like it better than fairy school?" "I'm not sure," I said. "I still don't know if I'm more fairy or vampire." There she is, all confused. Oh, said Mum, I see. I took a handful of cereal and wandered into the garden with Pink Rabbit. We could see the school children walking home along the pavement through the fence. Some of them were scruffy, some of them were neat. Some of them were loud and some of them were quiet. Some of them were tall, some of them were short, some of them were fat, some of them were thin, and some of them were just in between. And the thing was, none of them seemed to mind. But they all are going home. All sorts of different. I suddenly remembered what Dad had told me about the stars in the sky. How every one of them is different, but how they are all just as beautiful. And I thought, maybe it doesn't matter if I am a little different. Different can be beautiful too. I pressed my face closer to the fence, and one of the children saw me. He had blonde hair and lots of freckles and a big smile. There she is looking out the fence. He said, "Hey you, what's your name?" I didn't say anything because I suddenly felt very shy. But the boy didn't leave. He came over to where I was and gazed up at my house. "Cool house," he said. Then he spotted my wings. "Cool wings," he said. "Can you really fly with them?" I nodded and fluttered a few inches off the ground. "Awesome!" shouted the boy. Some of the other children were coming over now. "Wow," they said. "We've always wanted to talk to you." "Really?" I said in astonishment. "Oh, yes," said the boy. "We walk past your house every day on our way to school. We've seen you up in that turret window." There they are, chatting with Isadora flapping. "And we've seen a fairy here," said a little girl with pigtails who was busy munching on a peanut butter sandwich. "A fairy with pink hair. Me and my friends are always trying to peek in to see her." "Oh, that's just my mum," I said. "Some of us have seen a vampire," shouted the boy. "A really scary vampire with a black cape and pointy teeth." "Some kids in our class are too scared to walk past your house, you know," he puffed out his chest. "Not me." I laughed. "That's just my dad," I said. "He's not scary at all." "So, there really are fairies and vampires living here?" the children asked. "Really?" "Yes," I said, "really. And there's also a vampire fairy living here. Me." "A vampire fairy," said the children. "That's even better." I'm looking quite pleased with myself now. "I wish I was a vampire fairy," said a girl with pink plastic clips in her curly hair. Suddenly I felt very proud to be me. "My name's Isadora," I told the children. "That's a nice name," said the curly-haired girl. "My name is Zoe, and that's Sashi," she pointed to the girl with the pigtails. "And I'm Bruno," said the boy. "So what school do you go to? Is it a special school for vampire fairies?" There were the children. "Well," I began, But just then I heard a sound from the house. "Isadora!" It was Mum calling me inside. "I have to go," I said to the children, "but it was really nice to meet you. Maybe we can chat through the fence again one day. I can bring us peanut butter sandwiches." "Oh, yes," said the children. "Please come back. We can have a picnic. And bring your Pink Rabbit again too. He's so funny." "Peanut butter sandwiches are my favourite," said Sashi. "Mine too," I said. "I like them with apple juice." "Ooh, that sounds tasty," said Bruno. She's making friends. Which school do you think she's going to want to go to? "Isadora, what are you doing?" called Mum again. "I really have to go," I said. I said goodbye to the children and ran back to the house with Pink Rabbit bouncing joyfully along behind me. My run turned into a skip and then a skippity hop. I couldn't help it. I suddenly felt so happy. "There you are," said Mum when I got inside. "Oh, good, your Dad." It was still a bit early for him to be awake, so he was wearing his sunglasses. "We've decided to see if you can go to both schools," Mum said. "It's the perfect solution." "But," I said, "you can go to fairy school in the morning, come home for a quick nap, and then go to vampire school in the evening," she said. "But," I said, "I don't want to do that." Mum looked surprised. "Why ever not?" she said. "I thought of a much better solution. I want to go to regular human school." Mum and Dad both gasped. "Oh, no, no, no!" they exclaimed. "Why on earth would you want to go there? You are magical, you are special. You need to go to a special school. It's vampire school or fairy school." I shook my head. "No," I said. "I want to go to regular school." There's Mum and Dad, looking rather shocked. "But it's full of humans," said Dad, astonished. "Humans are so weird. They hardly get any fresh air. They sit around watching boxes all day. They eat beige food and they use screens to talk to each other. They can't even fly," added Mum. "Well, I just spoke to some of the children and they were very nice. There was one called Bruno and one called Zoe and one called—" "You spoke to them?" gasped Dad in horror. But they're not like you," said Mum. "You are different." "Well, I know," I said. But they were all different too, like the stars that Dad looks at through his telescope, and they didn't mind that I am not a full vampire or a full fairy. In fact, they thought it was interesting. Isadora, she's looking quite proud. Said Dad. "Humans are very odd." "Well, I like them," I said. "I'm starting to think that it's you two that are a bit strange." "Well," said Mum, tapping the apple tree with a wand so that it started to grow oranges instead. "Really?" said Dad, pushing his sunglasses further up his nose. "Yes," I told them, "but you know, I think that's a good thing. Things would be boring otherwise." Pink Rabbit nodded wisely beside me. "And so," I continued firmly, "I have decided that regular school is the perfect place for me." Said Mum, picking an orange off the tree. "Are you sure you wouldn't rather go to vampire school?" Dad said. "I am sure," I told him. "And sure you wouldn't rather go to fairy school?" added Mum. So that strange old tree. An apple tree are growing oranges. "Yes," I said. "Well then," said Dad, "maybe regular school is the place for you." "Maybe it could be the perfect place for you," said Mum, holding her arms out for me to hug. I smiled, and Pink Rabbit bounced up and down beside me. "I know it is," I told them happily. "Human school is the perfect place for a vampire fairy like me." So Isadora Moon didn't end up going to vampire school or fairy school. She realised that at lots of different schools, there are lots of different people. And do you know what, boys and girls? It's one of the things I love about our school, that lots of different people come to our school. Mums and dads of the children who come here do lots and lots of different things and from lots and lots of different backgrounds. And of course, we got puffins in our resource base. We are a fantastic mix, I think. And I think makes me realise how much we're all missing you and your own specialness at our school. Hope you enjoyed the Isadora Moon story. I'll find some more books to read later on in the week. Remember the school motto, guys. If you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours and keep smiling.